All right, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of books that I would absolutely not pick up right now. And the first one is this book right here. It is All New Wolverine issue number 1. And the significance of this book is that it is the debut of Laura Kinney in the classic Wolverine costume. X-23 dons the classic Wolverine costume. And part of the reason why this book is hot right now is because there is a rumor that multiple versions of Wolverine are going to show up in the Deadpool 3 movie, and X-23 is indeed a Wolverine. Raw sales for this book are up 23% week over week. So people are actively picking this book up right now. So what are the graded copies doing? Again, the downside is that we are always looking at data in hindsight just because we don't have up to the minute data, but there are roughly 1,550 copies of this book graded across all grades. The 9.8, 1129 on the census. The FMV, the current fair market value for this book is $110. The 1-year average $90, and the 30-day average $111. So it is trending up, and I can tell you for a fact that the asking prices right now for graded books are actually higher than the 30-day average, and of course higher than the fair market value. So people are catching on that this is a hot book, and my guess is that they are ticking up their asking prices to try to capitalize on the fact that this book is hot right now. So again, a really cool book. Again, one that I actually have in the collection. I bought this back in the day. I love X-23. The cover for this book is dope, but it comes down to timing. Right now, I would not touch this book, right? If you don't already have it and you want it, you may just want to wait until the movie drops and either X-23 will be in the movie or she won't be in the movie. That would be the time to pick it up. Maybe you're able to pick it up for a fair price. And if you're able to do that, then I say go for it. But I would not necessarily rush out and buy this book right now, because with all of the focus on this book, people are going to drive up the asking price, and you're going to pay a little bit more money for this book than you otherwise would. And when the movie comes out, the value of this, the asking prices are going to drop. That is the natural progression for this. The other book that I want to show you all is very much in the same vein as this one. It is this book right here, NYX issue number 3. And this is the first appearance of X-23. A really cool cover. This book was one that I also picked up off the shelf back in the day. This was released in February of 2004. So here we have her first appearance. And in the last one, we saw her donning the classic Wolverine costume. Both of these books are in demand. This one, raw sales are up 117% for the first appearance of this book. But let's go ahead and take a look at how the graded copies are performing. There are 6,691 total copies out there on the census. And right now, the fair market value for the 9.8 is $1,250. The 1-year average $1,230, and the 30-day is $1,130. So a little bit off of the fair market value and a little bit off of the 1-year average. Again, we are looking at this data in hindsight. My guess is that as the rumor continues to circulate, if it gains momentum, the asking price for the 9.8 will also creep up. There are 2,300 copies of this on the census. The 9.6, a little bit lower census count, and the fair market value is definitely lower for this one, as is the 30-day average. So definitely a cool book, but again, another book that if you don't already have it, I don't know if now is the time for you to rush out and buy it. Just because everyone is buying it doesn't mean that you have to. I would wait. I would wait until things cool off before pulling the trigger on this particular book. Again, if it's one that you're truly interested in. Let me go ahead to the third book. This is another book that we've actually spoken about this one in the past. We've looked at this book in the past. It is Batman issue number 609. This is the first appearance of Thomas Elliot, who is Hush. And the rumors regarding Hush being the focus of the Batman sequel have started to circulate again. And as a result of that, this book is seeing a huge surge in demand. The volume of raw book sales are up 600% week over week. So people are absolutely buying into the notion that Hush, Thomas Elliot, will be in the Batman sequel. And as a result of that, people are rushing out to actually buy this book. And so again, like with any book that is in demand, if people are buying it, the asking price for the book will actually go up. And once the movie, TV show, whatever it happens to be, comes out, the value will absolutely drop. So if you don't have a copy of this, I don't know that now is the time to pick it up versus waiting until the rumor is either proven true or disproven, or the movie or TV show actually comes out. But let's go ahead and take a look at what is happening with the value of this book that was released in January of 2003. There are only, that's a relatively low number, 2,118 total graded copies out there from CGC. The value of this one is not crazy, not crazy. There are fewer than 1,000 copies on the census. The fair market value for this book is $170. The 1-year average, $164, and the 30-day average, $157. So it's not quite at its 1-year average, not quite at its fair market value. But again, we look at all of this data in hindsight. And so that is one of the downside. So part of the question becomes, well, why not pick this book up? Why not pick up this book or NYX or Wolverine 1, right? If you are going to buy this book at a really low price and try to sell it, to make a profit, it's going to come down to timing, right? It is going to come down to timing as to whether you can buy the book, get it, turn around and sell it at a higher price and actually have the margin between the two be significant enough to actually turn a profit. That is a risky game, right? That is a risky game to play, but some people choose to play it. Now, if you happen to be a collector I don't know that you want to buy this book right now or any of these books, because you're essentially going to pay more than what you actually have to pay for the comic versus if you simply wait, right? If you're a reader, I don't know that you need to buy the book right now when you can read it digitally or pick up maybe a facsimile copy of some of these books. That could be another way to actually go where you're still participating, right? But you're not necessarily spending more money than what you need to spend. So if you're going to be a speculator and you're going to speculate on any of these books, it comes down to timing. It comes down to how much risk do you actually want to assume. I can't make those judgment calls for you, but I will tell you Wolverine issue number 1, NYX 3, Batman 609, all great books, but not ones that I would personally touch right now. And I'll be completely honest. I'll take it a step further. I don't know if I would actually pick up any Wolverine books at this moment. Anything related to Wolverine or Deadpool or Dazzler generally is going to be a little bit more because of all of the excitement around Deadpool 3 and what is actually going to happen there. I would not necessarily touch any of these unless, again, if you're able to get a smoking deal, I say go for it. A smoking deal is a smoking deal. But if you're simply going to eBay trying to find a deal on the hot book, probably not the right thing, right? The hot books typically are not going to be discounted, especially if you are buying from someone that is knowledgeable, especially if you're buying on eBay. So a lot of really other great books out there that you could choose to focus on outside of the hot book. Be contrarian. With that said, we're going to wrap this video up. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, I definitely want to encourage you to give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that now. And if you want to reach out to me, you can do it on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.
This thing on? Mic check. I just want to make sure y'all can hear me clearly. Yeah. Should you practice art? or should art be your practice? I had a question, so I asked it. Not to anyone specifically, but to my inner God, you know? The one that's gonna be a master, the one that's more than a rapper, the one that's an educator, the one that seeks enlightenment. He travels with concepts, he's got the mindset expansive. He understands that his time combined with travel and concepts makes his mind convex. Sort of like when you look at a brain scan, straight off meditation, we was concaving until we had that eternal dialogue that created our dialect. Now we in distinct rooms of pure souls having them conversations, synergy and combination.